Welcome to Underworld UK, where Britain's darkest stories are brought to light. From the gritty streets of Gangland, London, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, from Curtis Warren to the Cray twins to county lines and modern-day true crime, we cover everything. Bringing you new videos every week. Subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next video is put out.
Welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy true crime videos, especially about Gangland UK, can you please subscribe to the channel and give us a like? It really helps this channel grow, it's the best way to support us, and it really is appreciated. Thank you. Right, let's bring you today's news. A woman from Bradford who enlisted her own children into a sophisticated £5 million cocaine smuggling operation was jailed for more than 13 years today at Birmingham Crown Court. Farzana Kauser, 54, headed up the Bradford-based gang, 5 of which were her own children, including 2 who were teenagers at the time of the offences. Members used an elaborate method to smuggle high-purity cocaine through Birmingham Airport between August and November 2024. Kauser worked with an unidentified accomplice in Pakistan known as Uncle to mastermind the smuggling of cocaine from Cancun in Mexico to the UK. She betrayed no outward signs of running the UK side of the crime group, and even when she was arrested on 11th of November 2024 at Birmingham Airport, claimed she was only there to collect her children. Kauser was there to collect her children, but they were carrying 180 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of around £14.4 million. Some of it was due to be passed to a courier from another OCG, with the remainder taken back to Kauser's home on Waterley Road in Manningham and then moved on. NCA investigators showed it was the 5th time the crime group, which included Kauser's 4 sons, 1 daughter, and daughter-in-law, had couriered high-purity cocaine into Birmingham Airport between August and November 2024. The offenders booked short 1- or 2-night trips to Amsterdam or Dublin and travelled without any luggage. They timed their return flights to Birmingham to coincide with flights from Cancun, Mexico, where a corrupt insider loaded suitcases full of drugs onto the UK-bound flight. After landing, Kauser's children headed to the Cancun baggage carousel. They had received photographs of the suitcases from an unidentified member of the crime group. They were full of cocaine and had been loaded unaccompanied onto the Mexico flight. The family would then walk through customs as though returning with their own bags. Her 4 eldest children admitted their roles in the conspiracy. Her youngest son and daughter-in-law pleaded guilty to participating in the activities of an organised crime group. They were all sentenced at Birmingham Crown Court today, apart from her youngest son, who will be sentenced in October. Rick Mackenzie, NCA Senior Investigating Officer, said to her friends and people who thought they knew her, Farzana Kauser was a thoughtful, loving mum who seemed very normal. She was very well practiced in her life as a high-end cocaine trafficker, and she took great pains to delete any trail of evidence. She led this crime group with dedication and determination, often instructing her children on how to smuggle the drugs effectively and on what techniques to employ. She pushed her children into huge danger and has allowed their futures to be effectively destroyed. Her youngest son was just 17 when he was encouraged to play a major role in couriering drugs into the country, drugs that wrecked countless lives across the UK in their links to violence, addiction and other crimes. The NCA works side by side with partners at home and abroad to combat the threat Class A drugs pose to the UK. Kauser pleaded guilty to importing 180 kilograms of cocaine at a previous hearing. Kauser, along with 5 other gang members, previously pleaded guilty to importing approximately 180 kilograms of cocaine with a wholesale value of nearly £5 million into the UK from Mexico. 2 further gang members pleaded guilty to participating in the activities of an organised crime group. Between August and November 2024, the defendants conducted at least 5 drug importation trips using the same method each time. They would book short 1- or 2-night trips to Dublin or Amsterdam without taking any luggage. Their return flights were specifically timed to coincide with the arrival of flights from Cancun, Mexico. Upon returning to Birmingham Airport, instead of collecting luggage from their own flight carousel, they would proceed directly to the Cancun carousel, where they would collect suitcases full of cocaine that had been loaded unaccompanied onto the Mexico flight. They would then walk through customs as though returning with their own bags. The conspiracy was finally uncovered on the 11th of November 2024, when National Crime Agency officers arrested 6 defendants outside Birmingham Airport's arrivals area with 6 suitcases containing approximately 180 kilograms of cocaine. The operation was predominantly a family affair, with Farzana Kauser orchestrating the conspiracy involving her children and relatives. Only one defendant, Khalid Abdul Kawi, was not a family member. He acted as a courier, collecting drugs on behalf of another organized crime group. The following defendants were sentenced after pleading guilty to conspiracy to evade the prohibition on the importation of a controlled drug of Class A. Farzana Kauser, jailed for 13 years and 4 months. Safar Noor, 19, from Bradford, jailed for 7 years and 2 months. Mohammed Amir Shafak, 28, from Bradford, jailed for 8 years and 9 months. Umay Mohammed, 22, from Bradford, jailed for 8 years and 1 month. Junaid Shafak, 33, from Bradford, jailed for 10 years and 9 months. Khalid Abdul Kawi, 36, from Helso and Dudley, jailed for 10 years and 9 months. In addition, Hamza Shafak and Sarah Hussein pleaded guilty to participating in the activities of an organized crime group. Hamza Shafak, 18, from Bradford, to be sentenced in October, date to be set. Sarah Hussein, 27, from Bradford, 2-year sentence, suspended for 2 years. Sarah Ingram from the Crown Prosecution Service said, "This was a sophisticated and well-planned operation to flood the UK with high-purity cocaine worth millions of pounds. What makes this case particularly concerning is the family nature of the conspiracy, with a mother recruiting her own children to participate in serious organised crime. The defendants thought they had devised a foolproof method to import drugs, but thanks to the vigilance and thorough investigation by the National Crime Agency and our prosecution, their criminal enterprise was brought to an end. By taking this organised crime group out of action, large amounts of drugs have been removed from circulation and can no longer reach our streets. This case demonstrates the commitment of the Crown Prosecution Service and law enforcement partners to disrupting drug supply chains and bringing those involved in serious organised crime to justice." Rick Mackenzie, NCA Senior Investigating Officer, said, "To her friends and people who thought they knew her, Farzana Kauser was a thoughtful, loving mum who seemed very normal. She was very well practiced in her life as a high-end cocaine trafficker, and she took great pains to delete any trail of evidence. She led this crime group with dedication and determination, often instructing her children on how to smuggle the drugs effectively and on what techniques to employ. She pushed her children into huge danger and has allowed their futures to be effectively destroyed. Her youngest son was just 17 when he was encouraged to play a major role in couriering drugs into the country, drugs that wrecked countless lives across the UK in their links to violence, addiction, and other crimes. The NCA works side by side with partners at home and abroad to combat the threat Class A drugs pose to the UK.